computer today because I did not bring something to those on. Okay, so let's just get started right away. That way we won't be here super late once again. Okay, so just roll our shoulders a little bit. Put your neck down, your head down, roll to one side, and to the other, and back again. And just stretch, look up in the air, slowly close. Okay, so then let's shake out a little bit. Okay, so we're going to do the ragdoll stretches again. So down to your toes. And breathe in. And out. And one more time. And then up on 12s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and up. Oh, that cracked a bunch. Okay, so let's start. Let's do the zombie thing again. You stayed sort of bent over and we just hummed on that one note. So then I'll have you get louder on 4 and softer on 4 again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Good, and then we'll do it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do the zombie thing again, and we'll start right here where you're just wearing a hat. Think of having that same feeling. How did it feel when you were humming again? So when you were just doing it on one note, what did you notice?
I don't know.
Do you want to try it one more time? So think about the way that it feels in your face, just your body. Do you know, what does your back feel like? What does your chest feel like? Your ribs and your lungs and that sort of thing? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So what did you notice? Like,
I don't really feel my rib cage moving.
Yeah, not very much. Not with it bent over. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you feel like your stomach expanding outward? Okay. So let's do just the zombie thing one more time. Thinking back on when we met Matt last time. Having an easy jaw and that sort of thing, and the thick, fat tongue. Okay, so let's do go. Oh!
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Okay, and think about what we had. When we met last time, having that sort of like bobblehead neck. Start doing that, and then we'll do this. Oh my! Oh my! Good, and then think about having a nice relaxed jaw where it's not too tight. It will help to think of that thick fat tongue in the bottom of your mouth where it doesn't have to do a lot of work. I don't know why I keep reaching first what I'll have you do is, let's start with going, just hissing on like a count of 8 is what we'll do. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so then what we'll do is that same idea, but with the lip trills with your mouth without actually singing. And think about having those nice swinging ribs, so your lungs can have the full capacity that they can fill. Your ribs will be out of the way, bringing them back. Your diaphragm will flatten and then squish all your guts down, and it'll give all that room for your lungs. And just having that nice fast air behind your lips. So I don't know what I'm doing. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, let's do it one more time. So breathe out all your old air, and breathe in, letting your lungs expand. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, now think about that same thing, having that nice fast energy behind your air, as you come into doing with the phoneme lip trills. Just wiggle your fingers a little bit. Think about maybe looking around the room every once in a while. I don't know if there's anything in here that you can really read, like glance at this thing. Something to sort of keep you outside of just your body and the sound that you're making, but being sort of aware of what's going on around you as well. So, out. Out of the way a little bit, and while you're doing these lip trills, what I want you to do is walk backward toward the door, and I'll tell you when to stop so you don't run into it. I'm just going to have you walk around the room just a little bit. So right here. So then you can walk backwards. Okay, if you want to come back forward so you don't run into the wall. So did you notice anything as you were walking around? Did it feel anything different to you? Not just maybe not just physically, but what you were thinking about, that sort of thing, while you're walking around, even while you're just moving your fingers? Did you notice anything different about maybe just your concentration, if nothing else?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit when I sort of like watch you creepily in the mirror while you're singing. I noticed that you seem to you sort of draw inward, which is very natural. We're really concerned about making sure that we have the right sound that we're matching the pitches and staying in tune, that sort of thing. It's especially common with people who are more strictly choral singers, because when we're singing in a choir, it's a lot more of a concern to make sure that you're matching pitch with everyone else. So it could be easy to get really caught up in that and really concentrate on that. Myself, when I warm up just at home, I record warm-ups, so then while I'm warming up, I can have my phone with me, and then I just walk around the room a lot. I like stop and move my arms or something like that, or like pick up something and like look at a picture, so just random things to sort of keep out of my head thinking about exactly doing everything that I need to do. And with that, you just want to think about some of those things that I know that you and Emily have talked about, and that we've just talked about in these past two, is having those easy ribs that'll give you your lungs the room to expand, and having that nice easy neck so you don't get all tense back in here. So let's just do it a little bit more. Let's check the time, and then we'll work a little bit more on your rep than we did yesterday. Okay, so it's been about 15 minutes, I think. Okay, so first I'll have you go, oh yeah! Oh yeah! Okay, think about having that nice easy neck. Oh my! Oh my! And keep up with your neck. Great. Okay, so let's move into a little bit more lip trills, and I want you to keep thinking about keeping that neck going. And if you want to walk around a little bit, if you feel like you're concentrating a lot on it, you feel free to move around and do whatever you want to do. So. Okay, so let's take a look at, let's just do my favorite things again. It's crazy what's happening, so take a look at how much time we have, make sure we're still recording. Okay. Okay, so I think while we start this, let's just show we only went to there. Let's just do the first 2 pages this time. We have a little bit more time. And I want you to keep thinking about having those swinging ribs that'll let you travel through the passages without having to worry about air or anything like that, and it'll give you that nice fast air that you want for the energy that you can get. And really think about having that nice easy neck as well. So 1, 2.
Door bells and cymbals and much.
Pretty much. Okay, so what I'll have you do is I'll continue to play the melody for you, and I want you just to wander around the room again, that same way. If you mess up the words, it's okay. I'm not gonna tell anybody, so it doesn't matter quite so much. So I'll just have you wander around a little bit, thinking about having your neck nice and easy at the same time as you're walking around, sort of keeping your head out of the music so much. Okay.
Raindrops and roses and whiskers on kittens, bright copper kettles
Nice fast air.
from paper packages tied up with strings. These are a few of my favorite things.
Okay, great. So I think that with that you had sort of getting yourself out of reading the music. You definitely know at least that part. So I heard a little bit more stability, I guess you could say. You sounded a little bit more confident, even though maybe you clearly know the words, so the music itself isn't necessary. But even when you're looking at it, you sort of just see, notes on a page, that sort of thing. So getting out of the music will help you think not only sort of outside of yourself as well, but going in those sort of, it lets you go into sort of looking at what your phrases will be. So this song is pretty great because it has, those rests where you need indicative of breath marks and that sort of thing. So then what I want to do is, when we're looking at the phrases, just sort of bringing your energy into them, sort of giving energy to them and life, that sort of, thing. Is what I'll have. First of all, let's do the thing where you're bending over and humming just on the one note. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so let's do that, and I really want you to dig into just that sound as you're going into it. Really give it everything that sort of fill the space, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's been a long day.
So, like on the first four?
Yep, on the first 4, you're growing and crescendoing, and then on the second 4, falling away.
Okay.
Decrescendoing. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now what I want is to sort of think about where do you feel anything in like your face or your throat when we do this? So let's first go. Woo, have that nice round lips, nice and firm like this. You're gonna feel really silly. You look really silly. I look silly. But with our language, we get pretty lax with how much we move our mouth. So we sort of miss those nice pure vowels that you'll hear if you listen to people singing or speaking in Italian or French or anything like that. They have those really pure vowels because they move their lips a lot. So what I want you to do is have really round lips that stick really far out of your face. So I don't know if you can tell when you look at look at yourself in the mirror from the side and sort of make a funny face, I guess. So stick out your lips and make an ooh face. Look at yourself in the mirror. Ooh, yeah, great. Yeah, see, it feels silly, but when in reality, we're just so used to not seeing that with being English speakers here. So what I want you to really do is think about having those crazy lips that stick out really far when we make this ooh. So, and then if you want to look at yourself, maybe from the side is a little bit better so you can see. Ooh, great. So then what I want you to do with that is we'll go into that, and then I'll have you close just to an M. So look at yourself from the side again, have a pure ooh. And close. Well, you don't have to move your jaw or anything, keep that same ooh in the rest of your mouth, just close your lips. So your tongue doesn't have to move, your jaw doesn't have to move, unless you need to move it to close your lips a little bit. So, and then close your lips. Okay, great. So then what I'll have you do is we'll try bending over one more time. I don't know necessarily that we'll get exactly what I'm trying to accomplish here because it's doesn't work for everybody. It's different, so it doesn't necessarily, just because something works for me doesn't mean it'll work for you or your parents or that sort of thing. So we'll do it one more time. So what I'll have you do is start with that pure ooh, and then I'll tell you to close, and we'll count through 4. I don't know that we'll go through 8, but we'll see. So bend over a little bit. And close. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Did it feel any different that time? The more rounded lips?
Yeah.
You felt that, how did it feel?
It felt different.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Was it like a tickling sensation, or I guess what did it feel? Did you feel like resonance in there? Is what I guess I'm trying to ask.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I want you to think about is, where did you feel the most of it?
Like when I was louder.
So like toward 3 or 4? Yeah. Okay. So what I want you, that's great, because the more resonance that you have, the more energy that you're putting behind it. That energy that you're putting behind your crescendo can still be there when you're being less loud. So what I want is, we're going to go, starting right here with, these are a few of my favorite things. Think about having that same feeling, as we'll do the humming one more time, and really think about how it feels in your body as you get to the louder part, and how you can sort of utilize that when you're quieter. So we'll start with the ooh again, and then go. Do you think that you could do ooh and then 8, or do you want to just stick with the 4?
Just with the 4.
Okay. So start with and close. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So thinking about that now, what I'm going to have you do is, when you close, just stick with you don't have to crescendo, but think about trying to have that same sort of feeling as when you're louder, giving it that same energy. And you probably still won't feel it as much, because there will probably be less air. But just think about trying to have that same sort of feeling, because you're not doing anything differently with your body that would make it different to feel. And close. Okay, great. So even though you were quieter, or you stayed quiet the entire time, the sound was a lot more present than just the last time when you were sort of growing into it. Did it feel different than when you were quieter before?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And where did you feel it again? In your lips?
Yeah.
Did you feel it anywhere else? Okay. Alright, so then what I want you to do is think about having that energy that you had when you're softer, as you're going into my favorite things. And you can have that energy when you're starting right here, and not just when you get to the end. So let's start with brown paper packages, just sort of going into that, and think about having that nice energy, that fast air that we talked about with the lip trills. So... Great, so definitely you have a very beautiful sound. I think that thinking about not only getting yourself out of the music, but having that nice fast energy brings more. I guess what I'm kind of thinking of is body, when you have your hair and it's all crazy versus where it's all flat. Reminds me of crazy hair, which maybe isn't the best metaphor, but that's sort of, so having that nice big fluffy sound versus something that's a little bit quieter. So let's start with raindrops, and then we'll think about I'll have you walk around the room again and think about having that nice energy and that fast air as you do it. So.
Raindrops and roses and whiskers on kittens, brown and warm woven mittens, brown paper packages tied up with strings. These are a few of my favorite things.
Okay, so did it feel any different than when you were walking around before and first doing it?
Yeah, the crescendo sounded.
Yeah, definitely. There was a lot more sound. You're filling the room a lot more. even just compared to, or especially compared to yesterday when we first got together, which in itself is understandable because we didn't know each other. But there's definitely a lot more sound than the first couple set of lip trills that we did. You have a lot more energy behind what you're doing, and I think that that's going to help you a lot with the crescendoing and the decrescendoing and that sort of thing. Let's see what time it is. Okay, so we have another 5 minutes. So how about, you want to look at your other song?
Sure.
Okay, so I don't think that I don't know this song, so do you want to just tell me about how fast it goes? Should I sing like the first 2 measures or something?
Over the mountains and over the trees.
Okay, great. So, let's just go into this the same way that we did the last one. Thinking about that nice easy neck and giving a swinging ribs as you start. And then I'll play with you this time. And we'll go, let's just do the first 2 pages again. This is working out very well in form for us. So, okay, 1, Okay, great. So you definitely have a beautiful, this sits in your voice really well. Just like the range and that sort of thing. So what I want is every time that you take a breath, you can sort of think of it as an opportunity to reset what you're doing. So getting back to having those free, easy ribs, think about being able to move your arms separately from what you're doing. You don't need to have them straight. And that nice moving neck. So what I'll have you do is just doing the head bobbing thing, and sort of doing some backward shoulder rolls while we do it, and going into that. So I'll give you a count in of 3, and then use that time to sort of breathe out and then breathe in. So 1, 2, 3, and then keep moving. Reset. Okay, we'll stop there. So then what I notice with myself, because we're used to being so locked and rigid when we sing, if I move around a little bit, I can prevent myself from getting tense anywhere, like in my neck, especially for myself is where I get it a lot. And having an easy neck will help you be more relaxed in your jaw and your tongue, which will give you better vowel shape and all that sort of thing. So then if we're not moving, what you can do with your breaths is taking an opportunity to check in, see are your arms being free or are they super straight and tense and sort of putting pressure on you where there doesn't need to be. Is your neck nice and easy? And are your ribs still relaxed? So it's sort of a lot to think about in such a small amount of time. But once you sort of get used to thinking about different parts of your body as you go through, then it's not going to be, you'll find suddenly, regardless of however long it takes, that it's not something that you have to put a lot of conscious effort into. You'll think that you know when you have time to breathe and what your jobs are or aren't in that. So do you know like this much that you can walk around? No? Okay, so we'll sort of see out of that, but what I want you to do is, I'm just trying to think of something to sort of get you, how to So maybe we won't do this since you don't have it memorized, so we won't try to do out of the music. But what I would like is for you to do, let's just do some lip trills right here. Think about having that nice fast air behind it. Okay, and what I'll have you do this time is the same thing, but we'll go. Only I'll play it right for you. So what I want going into this, because it's a little bit long, is think about, put your hand on your tummy and your other hand on your ribs, and think about breathing out and how your ribs sort of are in, and then when you breathe in, letting your ribs swing out and getting that full expansion, and then going into the trill. So breathe out, breathe in, and okay, great. So you had a lot of nice fast sound coming up behind the trills. I want you to think about that same thing as we sing. So we'll go 1, 2, 3. Beautiful. Okay, so what I think something that just sort of step one leading into all of those crazy things that I said you should think about between your breaths is really remembering to have those swinging ribs. You have pretty short amount of time to breathe, especially like before wish right here. So what I want you to do is really take that time to sort of give your ribs that expansion. Keep your hands right here, and we'll start like from and then when we get to under the floods and which, think about using that time to sort of take stock of where's your tummy and where are your ribs and letting them expand. So I'll give you 1, 2, 3, 1, and